Thank you. I call the member for Coogee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Acting Speaker, Temporary Acting Speaker, I rise today with some sadness to inform the House of the passing of John Spud Murphy. Spud passed away suddenly on the 3rd of August this year, aged 71. He'll be dearly missed by his kids, whom he affectionately referred to as Matt, Bub and Pip. I knew Spud through his involvement in the Boy Scout movement and his long and dedicated service to the Coogee Cubs, the Scouts, Venturers and Rovers. My first memory of Spud was on a camping trip when our camp was descended upon by some local lads intent on making some trouble. Spud and another scout leader arrived in the nick of time, and I'm sure it was Spud's imposing stature and his gravelly voice that more than anything else convinced the potential troublemakers that it would be in their best interests that they leave immediately. The Cubs at that time were a church-sponsored group, Madam Speaker, which meant that they were required to attend church parades once a month. This posed a problem for Spud and his Cub mates because the preacher was, at the time, to quote Spud, a fire and brimstone preacher whose sermons scared the kids so much that they feared attending the parades. Nonetheless, Spud wasn't deterred by this, and he continued on in the Scouts, his involvement spanning over 40 years. He was instrumental in setting up the Sydney Cenotaph Guard and served at the Cenotaph from 1988 right up until his sudden passing, all the time as a volunteer. At least 4 times a year, Spud would lead the local Coogee Scouts crew to wash down the Cenotaph in Martin Place. Every year at the Anzac Day dawn service, rain, hail or shine, Spud's crew would work throughout the night preparing the monument for the service in the morning. As a result, the Scouts became an integral part of the Anzac Day service, and as was Spud in his capacity as a member of the Dawn Service Trust Committee. Eventually, Spud became an RSL Cenotaph attendant, a dedicated voluntary role. Spud's road to involvement in the RSL came about after his military service, a service for which he was awarded the Vietnam Logistics and Support Medal and the Australian Active Service Medal. I came to be reacquainted with Spud when I was the Mayor of Randwick and his involvement in the local RSL movement. Spud was a member of the crew of the MV Japarat, an Australian National Line cargo vessel, which was chartered to deliver supplies to the Australian forces in the Vietnam War. Many of the ship's seamen refused to man the vessel after 5 voyages, leading the Royal Australian Navy to commission the vessel as HMAS Japarat and for the vessel to enter military service. Spud served 3 tours of duty to Vietnam on the Japarat. But Spud just didn't give up his time to commemorative association. He had a great love for baseball after he was introduced to the sport by his brother at the age of 10. He continued on with this involvement, eventually becoming the Vice President of the Waverley District Baseball Club. Serving others and the memories of others is often a thankless and unappreciated task, but it was one that Spud carried out with dedication. He became heavily involved with every organisation he joined. His efforts are a testament to his dedication to volunteer organisation and to our community. The custodian of the Cenotaph describes Spud as an iconic figure on the Sydney commemorative landscape, known by premiers past and present, and noted that Spud was always personally addressed by the Governor, Her Excellency Professor Marie Bashir, every time she visited the Cenotaph. He was cherished by his relatives and all who knew him, and he'll be sadly missed, but certainly not forgotten.